Reviving a dead YouTube channel has been done countless of times, but today I wanted to test if it's possible to do so in a niche I have zero experience with. In fact, throughout this whole process, I didn't create a single video and still managed to make over $2,000. But to understand how I even got here, we need to go back to March 29th, 2025. I found a channel being listed for $390. Now, although the channel looks dead, I noticed that the views were spiky, which is way better than the graph where it just slowly falls off. And even on the last 28-day graph, it was clear that each upload was still getting pushed and the channel wasn't completely shadow banned. I also did a quick RPM calculation by dividing the views by the revenue and saw that it wasn't too bad with a decent audience graph. So, like any other person, I offered a fair price of $250. And surprisingly, he countered with $300. While waiting for the channel to transfer, he even kindly offered to post 4 more videos on the channel, and 7 days later I officially had access where I was able to see even more analytics. The videos that the seller uploaded during the 7 days were consistently getting around 1,000 views, which was a really good sign. I actually didn't know what I was going to do with this channel at first, since this was a niche I've had literally zero experience with. I've literally not watched a single piece of anime in my life, but then I noticed the thumbnails were straight doo-doo and that I could maybe revive the channel. I asked the seller how the videos are made, and he explained that it was basically outsourced scripts with a text-to-speech voiceover, but this sounded way too tedious for me, so at first I simply thought about reselling the channel straight away since I already got a good deal out of it. But before actually listing it, I wanted to test if I could get a few more views out of it, so I tried compiling the videos on the channel into multi-hour long videos in the fall asleep style. If you don't already know, this style of content works insanely well, and one really good example of this is Boring History, which I'm pretty sure has done hundreds of thousands of dollars within only 9 months. And this isn't just limited to AI channels. If you have lots of videos, especially if they're on the same topic, you could post sleep compilations on the same channel, or even make a whole separate channel for those types of videos, where they might even end up making more in revenue than your main channel because of how evergreen some sleep videos end up being and their insanely high RPM. In fact, one of the best examples of this is Chains For Real. His main channel only gets around 2 million views a month since he posts very rarely, and pairing that with an average RPM of $4, that would mean he only makes around $8,000 a month. But he actually has a second channel called Chains For Real Shorts, where he posts consistent compilations of his main channel videos, sometimes even reusing the same video in one compilation, and a lot of these videos even have sponsors. This channel also gets around 2 million views a month, but pairing that with an RPM of most likely 20, that would be around $40,000 a month, excluding what he's getting from sponsorships. So that's why this style could be insanely beneficial, and it's become pretty much common practice nowadays with a lot of people doing it. So after posting the sleeve compilations to the anime channel that I bought, I quickly realized it most likely wouldn't work. The AVD tanked compared to the channel average, and the views maxed out at only a couple hundred to maybe 1,000 if I'm lucky. And trying to not completely kill the channel before I list it, I actually deleted those videos after reviving the channel, so any viewer history wouldn't be assigned to those videos. The reason I did this is because of an actual tweet from an employee at YouTube, where he states that deleting or privating a video removes it from watch history of a viewer, which is a factor used in determining future recommendations. My theory was that by deleting those videos which had analytics that were horrible compared to the channel average, that it wouldn't direct the channel in the wrong direction or to the wrong audience for any future videos. But then I had a very good idea. At this point, I still had absolutely no knowledge about the niche. The only thing I figured out is that this niche is way bigger than I ever realized. Apparently, it's insanely optimized and completely automated, with some channels posting animated recaps that are so long to the point where some of them are over 60 hours long. So I can only imagine the revenue from some of these channels. I noticed that on this channel, the previous owner would post recaps in parts and then combine those parts into one video, with a full one would perform much better than each episode. So I decided to search the channel and see if I could find any episodes that weren't yet compiled into a video, and that's where I found this. 4 1-hour long videos, all in separate parts. So I took all 4 of those videos, combined them, and made a much cleaner thumbnail and posted, thinking nothing of it. However, after 24 hours of no progress, I woke up the next day and the video was completely taken off. It quickly shot past 10,000 and then 20,000 views within the next couple of days, and I revived the channel from making almost nothing to over $100 a day without ever even making a single new video. I continued by using the same strategy by combining multiple episodes into one video, making a better thumbnail and posting it. But nothing was competing with this original video that I posted, as only after a couple of weeks, it was sitting at almost 100,000 views, generating the channel an extra $600. At this point, I already made around $400 profit since I got the channel before I asked to transfer the previous month's revenue, and the stats reflected this. These videos started gaining way better EVD even though I changed nothing, which in turn doubled the RPM from around $3 to $7 and sometimes even more. Within only a few days, when I set the analytics to lifetime, I made a brand new peak on this channel. However, trying to keep the channel going wasn't going so well, as my zero knowledge in the niche was probably starting to catch up. You can only reuse your content for so long before it becomes repetitive. And after making $1,000 in profit from AdSense alone, I relisted the channel back up for $1,250. I quickly got a message from someone who was interested, and as if coming full circle, they offered me an equally stupid price like I did of $800. And after I counted him back with 1.15k, his offer suddenly went up to $1,000, where I told him that 1.1k is the lowest I'd go. At this point, he even wanted me to teach him how to make the videos, and I told him that I have no idea how to even do that. A couple days later, he came back to me and said he'd do 1.1k, and the deal went through, making me a total profit of over $2,000 from AdSense and reselling the channel pretty much in around 30 days. Today, the guy I sold it to completely killed the channel by posting literal dog shit on it, and he tried bringing back the anime recaps, which just didn't work, as he's only averaging anywhere from 3 to no views right now. This guy clearly doesn't understand how to do YouTube, and I would feel bad if he wasn't an absolute demon with how many channels he's bought. As always, you should take this as a learning experience. I definitely wouldn't have been able to revive this channel by just making better thumbnails if I didn't have 10 years of experience on this platform. The best advice I can give to you is to actually be interested in being creative and YouTube, as at that point, even if you're not doing well, you're building your skills in multiple fields, which will unknowingly help you years down the line. Relying on AI means you're not actually improving any of your skill sets, so when you're actually faced with a challenge where you need real life skills to maintain something instead of having it done for you, it simply just won't work out. And that's not to say that outsourcing or using AI is inherently bad, as even someone who barely uses it, I think it's very beneficial if used properly. You don't want to end up in a position where you're overdeveloped in one skill set but not another, or not developed in any at all, because at the end of the day, YouTube will always have the same word in its name: you. If you enjoy these videos, then you know how deeply I care about content creation. I've been doing this for around 10 years now, and I wanted to give back in a way that's completely optional to you. If you want honest feedback on your channel, including thumbnails, titles, retention, or what's actually holding you back, or simply want to learn more about any niche, you can book a completely brutally honest audit with a link in the description.